pag capable yung, pag marunong yung katapat mo, pabaliktad ka talaga. So, okay. So, tayo magsimula na mga kapatid. Brother Jimmy, why don't you start us?
Sige po. Manalangin tayo, Panginoon. Salamat po sa gabi ito. Dahil po aming mauna sa lahat ng aming pag-aaralan. Bigyan po kami ng katalinuhan, karunungan. Nagmumula lamang sa iyo. Ang aming maintindihan, Panginoon, ang leksyon sa gabi ito, ang Church History 2, Panginoon. At patuloy ka maitaas, badakila sa aming kalagitnaan ng aming pag-aaral. Tumaming dalangin sa pangalan ng Jesus.
Amen. Amen. So tonight, we studied the rise of Islam. No? In fact, after this, I will go back to Roman Catholicism kasi gusto kong mas maunawaan nyo kung bakit ganun ang nangyari sa Roman Catholicism. Babalikan natin ang kauntian after this session next week. Kasi without really understanding bakit ganun yung nangyaring korupsyon, both doctrinally and morally sa Roman Catholic Church. Pag hindi nyo na unawaan kung bakit, it's still a question mark na parang darating tayo sa, kung makalimutan natin yung nangyari sa Dark Ages, Middle Ages, Dark Ages, hindi natin lubos mauunawaan kung bakit gano'n na lamang yung nangyari right before the Reformation. Na minamasakre yung mga Christians, minamasakre yung mga communities ng mga Christians. Para magtataka kayo, bigla naging monster itong church na ito. Na dati sila yung pinapersecute, dati yung Christians yung pinapersecute. From being a church persecuted by the Romans for the good part of 300 or 200 plus years, suddenly sila na yung persecutors ng true believers of the Lord. Pero in between, makikita natin kasi the rise of Islam. And we will not fully understand our times without going into Islam. That is a challenge I will leave to you guys. No? Because you have to understand ano yung essence, ano yung substance ng Islam. Bakit grabe itong terrorism na ito ngayon? Bakit ang Islam hindi mo ma-mollify, hindi mo mapapakalma, hindi mo masasatisfy. So they really have to rule. They really have to rule with force. Na talagang ano pa talaga yung end goal ng Islam? Is it just to have their own state, or is it world dominion? Okay, so pag-aaralan natin yan. Kaya nga, yan ang malaking challenge sa ating kapanahonan, mga kapatid. In fact, if you study the scriptures, if you study prophecies sa Revelation, saka yung sa Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, merong sinasabi na hindi Armageddon. There will come a time magkakaroon ng march of a 200 million man army. Actually, later interpreters na yung nag-mention ng 200 million man army, pero it was an army of several millions. Na sinasabi nila, sabi nga ni Hal Lindsey nung araw, the book, the late great planet Earth. Sabi niya, yun actually yung Chinese army, kasi the Chinese armed forces, including the reservists, ay nasa 200 million. I think Hal Lindsey is mistaken. Kasi sabi ko nga, walang dahilan ng mga inchik na magmarcha papuntang Middle East. Sino ang magmamarcha sa ngayon, sa kapanahonan natin papuntang Middle East? And I can see the signs of the times. Pag may mga nangyayari ngayon, nagugulat na lang. I'm a student of prophecy, mga kapatid. Pag pinag-aaralan ko yung nangyayari, kasi ito yung sa political science ko sa UP nung araw, ang expertise ko political dynamics. What is happening in the world at large. And then when I use that from the perspective, when I do political analysis from the perspective of the Bible, mas nakakaptayong balahibo kasi parang, wow, Nangyayari na yung sinasabi sa Revelation. Nangyayari na yung sinasabi sa last days. Yung tinatawag nating doctrine of eschatology. The doctrine of the last days. Nangyayari na. So, yung sinasabing march of that huge army of, sabi ng some interpreters, 200 million. Basta it's in the scores of millions, no? I believe that is the Pan-Islamic Army. The Pan-Islamic Army, na kung titingnan nyo from the map, from the world map, sila yung basically nasa belt ng malapit sa equator, from Asia papunta sa Middle East. And we're talking about that strip, which includes Indonesia, the largest Islamic country in the world, Malaysia, Southern Thailand, maraming Muslim dyan. Southern India, there are so many Muslims. In China alone, more than 50 million are Muslims. Southern China. So you can just imagine, pag nagmarcha lahat yan, sino ba ang galit na galit sa mga Hudyo?
Arab.
Di ba? Not necessarily Arabs, the
Arab
Muslims.
Muslims.
Because the Arab Israelis, hindi
yeah.
sila galit na galit sa Israel. Lumalaban pa nga sila, nasa ano sila, sa IDF. Nagkikwento sa akin yung mga kaibigang Hudyo. Sabi nila, yeah, we have Arab troops in our IDF. So it's not Arabs per se, but it's the Muslims. May mga Christian Arabs, by the way. Okay? So ang galit na galit yung mga Muslims. They hate the Jews. Sila yung para di ba, namatay na yung mga, nawala na yung mga Nazis eh. Yung mga ginagamit ng Diablo, i-persecute yung mga Jews ng World War II. Ngayon, in every generation, may ginagamit ng Diablo para i-persecute ang God's chosen people. Ngayon, ito mga Muslims. So sabi ko, bilangin natin lahat ng mga, the peoples, the Arab, the Muslim nations and the Arab nations together. Ilan ang Muslim? Ang laki ng population, almost 1 billion, more than 1 billion. So maliit lang yung army na sinasabi kung 200 million man yan. So I believe ang next na kalaban ng Israel sa last days are largely composed of Muslims na ginalit, ginatungan ng kaaway ng Antichrist, ng beast, para atakin ng Israel. They're very relevant ang study natin mga kapatid. Balikan natin. Kaya nga dito, babalik tayo doon sa kasabihan sa Pilipino, ang hindi lumingong sa kanyang pinanggalingan. Ay hindi makakarating sa kanyang
sa mabaho at palansang isda.
Okay, sige.
Meron pa. Meron pa yung copy.
Ito
last week.
Ito pastor yung last lesson pa. Ito yung last lesson ng dulo ng lesson. Okay. So, let's go to the rise of Islam. Anong meaning ng Islam? Islam means submission to the will of God or submission to God. There is an Arabic term, Islamic term, inshallah. Inshallah. Inshallah.
Ano page pala yan?
The term for God, page 18. The term for God is not really Allah, but Allah. Allah. Inshallah. Inshallah. Inshallah means the Lord willing. Parang sa atin sa mga Christians, God willing. God willing. Nagkamali nga ako minsan, dinaya ko yung kasama ko. Kasi kausap namin yung mga Hudyo, nagsabi siya, inshallah, nagulat ako. Inshallah, sabi ko. Tinanong ko yung Hudyo katabi ko, do you use that term? No, that's Arabic. Okay, it's not proper. It's not proper because you're Jews. Hebrew, iba yung Hebrew. Pero, yung inshallah is the essence of Islam. Para bang submission to the will of God. Yun ang ano nila. Okay? So, nagsimula yan kay Muhammad. Muhammad was born in 570 or 571 AD. Actually, merong historian na nagsasabi 569. Hindi accurate. Why? In the Arabic world, nung araw, they rarely took records. Ganon sila ka-illiterate. Ganon sila ka-illiterate. In fact, when Muhammad was teaching, according to the hadith, ito, no? Di ba may Quran, may hadith eh. Mamaya explain ko yan. According to the hadith, si Muhammad, may nagja-jot down ng kanyang mga sinasabi, and they were writing this on stones, on pieces of bone na natuyo na, whatever writing material mahagilap nila. They were not, remember, these were nomadic people living in the desert, and the desert was a very harsh environment. So you can just imagine, hindi sila ganun ka-sophisticated. When you study anthropology, sino nag-aral ng anthropology sa college? Wala kayong anthropology sa college? Wawa naman kayo. Hindi naman.
Anthropology, study of...
Nirequire sa UP yun, man.
Wala.
Anthropology, from anthropos, the Greek anthropos means man. Logi. Study of man. Hindi lang nature, but the whole essence. In fact, it not only tackles human nature, but also human society, human culture. Kaya sa anthropology, pag-aaralan mo human culture, doon mo makikita na sinasabi, actually, masyadong connected ngayon. Yung anthropology ng panahon natin, kinokonekta nila lagi sa evolution. Kasi doon lumalabas yung kultura ng tao dati, cavemen yan eh. Dati nga, nasa puno yan eh. Yun ang kanilang kalokohan na tinuturo. Walang mga basis. So, when you study anthropology, mga kapatid, mapapansin nyo, the more sophisticated societies were not the ones living in the desert or the mountains. The more sophisticated societies, yung mga unang nagsulat, yung mga unang nag-invento ng mga sasakyan, yung nakatira malapit sa dagat. The coastal cities, the coastal civilizations. Sophisticated yung mga Egypt. No? The Philistines were very sophisticated in the Word of God, in the Bible. In fact, nagugulat na sila, yung mga Philistines, may mga war chariots. The Israelis did not have any. Kaya nga, ang nahirapan yung Israelis i-conquer sila. But of course, the real reason kung bakit hindi sila natalo ng Israelis, the Israelites, is that the Israelites were disobedient to their God. And the Lord put the Philistines as one of the thorns sa kanilang tagiliran. Problema, para bang, when you're not obedient to the will of God, you will have Philistines in your life. Normal yun. But they were sophisticated kasi malapit sila sa dagat. Ngayon, in comparison, yung mga nasa disyerto, hindi masyadong sophisticated. And Muhammad was like that. He belonged to the Quraysh tribe sa Arabia. The Quraysh tribe were a royal tribe. Pero hindi lang sila royal tribe. Hindi yung buong tribe. Meron silang mga family sa kanila na sila yung pinaka-parabang, ang tawag, minsan nagkakabiro ang panahon namin sa probinsya na yung dugong bugaw. Sila yung parabang, galing sa nobility ito. Dugong bugaw. Yung Quraysh tribe, ang mga dugong bugaw. Si Muhammad belonged to that tribe. Hindi lang yan, his family used to be the religious leaders. Sa kanila galing yung religious leaders ng kanilang tribo. So it was already a royal tribe and sila yung one of the powerful clans. Pero ito nangyari, when Muhammad was a young boy, namatay yung kanyang father. Hindi nagtagal, namatay yung kanyang mother. And somehow, according to tradition, according to history nila ng mga Muslims, karamihan ng kalalakihan sa kanilang pamilya nagkandamatay din. So itong si Muhammad, he ended up na meron kang lineage, meron kang dapat sana legacy, pero nawala ka sa linya. Bakit? Nag-isa ka natira, namatay yung mga magulang mo. So naging siyang orphan. And for the first 25 years of his life, he had to really work to survive. But he was a trustworthy person. Nag-join siya sa trade. Nung araw, pag nasa trade ka, na trading, buy and sell ng mga sasama. Ang sinamahan ni yung mga traders, sinamahan ni Muhammad, natuto siyang maging caravan head. Nagsimula siya na umaalalay sa trading, umaalalay sa caravans. Anong araw kasi, para mga lakal ka, pupunta ka sa lugar na pinagkukunan ng mga goods, dadalhin mo doon sa lugar mo o kung saan lugar pwede magandang ibenta yan, and then magbebenta. You make a lot of money. So doon ang training ni Muhammad for the first 25 years of his life. At nakilala siya, nagkaroon siya ng reputation that he was a trusted, a faithful fellow. Naging siyang amin. An amin was a fellow that you can rely on, a reliable fellow. So when he was 28 years old, nag-asawa siya. Nag-asawa siya ng isang widower na matanda. Widow, not widower. Widow, na babae ang widower na lalaki. A widow na matanda na. May edad. Hindi naman matanda, pero much older than he was. Nag-asawa siya ng isang widow. And then, when he was about 40 years old, by the way, mayaman yung babae. So the woman had several caravans. Nag-ooperate yung babae ng caravan. You own the caravan if you own a lot of camels. Pwede kang mag-caravan. And then marami kang mga